So the egg is fertilized in the fallopian tube, right? And then it, instead of rolling down the fallopian tube and implanting in the uterus, the baby implants in the fallopian tube, right? That's an ectopic pregnancy, right?
Correct, yeah.
So then as the baby then grows, it then puts the fallopian tube at risk of rupture.
Yeah.
Right, which would then put the mother's life at risk.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's like a 99% chance.
Yeah. So as far as going in and like removing the
work.
fallopian tube, in order to save the life of the mother, that unintentionally may result in the death of the child.
Most of the time, like 90% of the time, the baby dies.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously,
when they do that.
Right. But that's not. You're not wanting that.
Yeah.
Right. That's not. You're not. You're trying to save as many of his lives as you can.
Right, yeah.
And the baby's in a position where there's not a way to save the baby's life.
Yeah.
So you're doing what you can to save the life of the mother, and it unintentionally causes the death of the child.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's not.
it's a really good question, and I think that the main issue is when you talk about look, there's a baby in a fallopian tube, and so we have now 2 lives at risk, right?
Yeah.
And so like you're showing a really good heart to show concern for the mother, to say, look, she could die and the baby could die.
Yeah.
So you got to do something to get in the way to preserve life.
It's like 1 life or 2.
Exactly. And so like we would say that your instinct, your desire is right on. You're thinking about the preservation of life.
Right.
So the whole thing over that question is the preservation of life, right? So what's interesting is that, and you probably know this being a college campus, you may have heard these sorts of things, 98% of all abortions statistically, consistently, are at will. I want to kill the baby. It's in the way. I don't want this in my life. Whatever the reason is, it's at will. It's with forethought. I know what I'm doing, and I want to end this pregnancy.
Right. Yeah.
So what tends to happen is there's an emotional argument used to sort of prop up the right to kill your baby, and that is, well, what about rape, incest, life of the mother?
Yeah.
And so you're bringing up the life of the mother one, which actually is one of the lowest parts of the 2% life of the mother. The rape and incest one can be answered very easily. If she's raped, we would say that we shouldn't give capital punishment to the baby. We should give it to the rapist. So what we should be doing is pursuing a justice system that deals with a very heavy hand with the rapist and coming alongside the woman and the baby to preserve their lives and to support them. But we shouldn't be giving capital punishment and executing the baby. I have friends who are the products of rape, and they are lovely and amazing people, and they would argue that they're glad that their life wasn't taken as a result of the crime of their father. So what we would say is the second point is incest. Very small number of abortions are because of the stated thing of incest. But again, in the case of incest, I also have friends that are the products of incest, and I don't think we should kill them. And it's a terrible thing, for sure. But we shouldn't now say, okay, some terrible thing has been done, let's do something worse and kill the baby. The last thing is the one you brought up, and that's life of the mother. What's amazing about the time that we live in is that the instances where life of the mother is truly at risk, where something has to be done, where someone comes in to mediate very aggressively, are so infinitesimally small.
1 in 52 is ectopic.
Well, in terms of and oftentimes the ectopic pregnancies and complications of pregnancies just work themselves out as natural miscarriages and those sorts of things. But you bring a fantastic point. What do you do when it's actually a situation where the life of the mother is truly at risk? And in that case, what we're trying to do is work for the preservation of life, and we're trying to see 2 patients. We have the baby and the mother. And it's similar to a situation where you say there's a car hanging off of a cliff, right? You've got 3 seconds to preserve life. You can only ultimately save one. What do you do in that case? Let them both fall off? No. You preserve the life that you can. So what you're referring to with an ectopic pregnancy complication is a rescue operation. And those rescue operations happen at hospitals with doctors who are working towards the preservation of life, not the willful, unjustified taking of human life. Okay. So just to put it in more personal terms, my wife has had a number of miscarriages. One of them one of them was a molar pregnancy where we had twins, and then there's like basically cancer, and it eats up the babies instantly. And we heard the heartbeats, and then we came back, and then while doing the ultrasound, it was, okay, they both died. And your life is now at risk if we allow this to stay inside you. So she had to go to the hospital to essentially get a procedure that is similar to an abortion on already dead babies to preserve her life. But where did she go? Not to Planned Parenthood.
You have to go to a new place, because that's what I heard is that for like ectopic pregnancies, women couldn't not get it removed until it already bursted their fallopian tube. Like they literally couldn't because of it's banned in Texas, so they weren't able to. They had to wait until they got hurt.
That's a fiction. It's a mischaracterization of the two. Like I'll give you an example. My name's Jeff, by the way. I'm a pastor. This is Bradley. Well, we've been working to get bills of equal protection for all human beings from fertilization. Same as you, the baby in the womb gets the same. And we've been doing that across the country. And in some of the states we've worked in, when we've even gotten it to the floor to be voted on, some of the arguments being used against the bill sounded like that. They said this will make women who have miscarriages criminals. And it's a complete fiction. Something that's a natural occurrence. It's a painful experience having a miscarriage. It's not something someone has to be sought for justice, right? It's a horrible, sad thing. If we're working towards a bill of equal protection for all human beings in a state, it has nothing to do with miscarriages, natural occurrences that are tragic. It has nothing to do with saving a life if a woman's life is truly in danger, which again, this is a very small number where it actually is something where the doctors have to actually try to preserve life, some life. We're just looking to have equal protection for every human being from fertilization.
Okay.